Let's see. COD is rigged and fake. 100% proof. This is what I want to see. You are not playing the game. The game is playing you.
So I can look at somebody that was in your state that you are right now, but this person was 6 months ago, and see what happened to this person. Did this person increase engagement, decrease engagement? And this is the root state. When you start playing Call of Duty, that's where you start. Now, because it's really dark, now it's dark because you start a game and we don't know anything about you. But you see all those possible directions to go. There's all those possible futures for you to explore. Here you can see it's clear that there's like a cluster with light circles on the bottom. You want to reroute users there.
That was an official presentation. That is crazy.
We finally found it. The last bit of definitive proof we needed in order to reveal what we've been saying for years and what's been right in front of our faces. Call of Duty is rigged to breed player engagement and microtransaction sales by extension. The matchmaking measures engagement and manipulates your results.
It's COD is rigged and fake, 100% proof, which I guess is just calling COD like just money hungry, greedy.
And the way you're advertised to in
Like
game
2K.
in order to maximize profits and your interest in the game. And the worst part is, Activision tried to gaslight us into thinking this wasn't the case by telling us that their matchmaking did not utilize engagement as a factor that is measured, by completely redefining the meaning of engagement that we're talking about from player interest to time played, and then answering the question that way. However, this isn't the proof we're talking about exactly.
GSP. Georgia State Prairie. UFC fighter. Should we watch the UFC highlights from yesterday? They care about money. They don't care about fans' needs and wants. Thank you. Again, I always bring up 2K, but like in order to even be remotely good in 2K, like especially for your online player, you literally have to buy VC over and over and over, unless your player is ass as fuck. You get what I'm saying? Now, I guess COD isn't that bad in that retrospect because like you don't need to buy some stuff. But, they might be onto something.
Exactly. We're talking about Activision representatives talking about Call of Duty's background algorithms in a public presentation about how the game uses machine learning to personalize player engagement. And that's not me paraphrasing. That is exactly what the presentation is called, and what the video is called. I'll link it down below, but there are key parts of the presentation that are a dead giveaway that they profile you and actively analyze the state that you're in order to best optimize your engagement. And the last thing I'm gonna show is horrifyingly futuristic and almost unfathomable until you see it for yourself. But let's roll the first clip.
So for people that worked with live products, this curve is really familiar. So you have an early engagement building up, and there's a peak, and eventually there's a tail. Now,
That's literally what's happening
people
right
are
now.
going to have different shapes. Some people are going to have like a higher peak, lower peak, shorter tail, longer tail. But that's what the average curve looks like. Every point in this red line is your state in your journey. So I can look at somebody that was in your state that you are right now, but this person was 6 months ago, and see what happened to this person. Did this person increase engagement, decrease engagement? What message this person was sent? And was it good, was it bad? Now I get all this information, and I can make a decision about what to do with you right now.
How is this making y'all feel right now? Or is it like, yeah, we knew this?
Right here, they are presenting a graph that represents the average curve of player engagement. A player boots up the game for the first time and isn't all that interested or engaged. Then the slope climbs until its peak, which we can define as the point of maximum interest, perhaps even a little or a lot of addiction. Then we can see that slope tapers off. Their objective is to analyze why that taper off happens and then how to best prevent that from happening. From a business...
Yeah, I was just gonna say from a business perspective, it sucks when I just think about that because I'm like, I mean, isn't that how they kind of better their product? But I guess we just got to hear more because I don't see what's kind of the problem with this engagement.
From this perspective, this is obviously a smart endeavor. Why do players lose interest, and how can we best prevent that?
Yeah.
However, they start to dive way too deep, and instead of just deciding to constantly release new...
Because I think about it like a video. If I were to edit a video and I saw people like getting off the video earlier than I would like, then I'm like, okay, in order to fix the engagement, what should I fix in this video that keeps their retention? Or attention. Retention is crazy. But you get what I'm saying?
New high quality content that everyone enjoys, they instead do things on a more microscopic level that is manipulative. They analyze past player data to predict, based on your slope and current state, how likely it is that they will lose you as a player. Roll these next clips.
Every circle you see in the screen,
Okay.
it's a state. So the axes are turned.
Hey man, they know what will keep our semen retention. I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to say that.
States, the blues and the greens are states that I'm going to talk about it, but the arrows here are different because remember the arrows are the actions. It's how I walk from one state to the other. And messages are pretty much what you send to the user. So if I want to move a user from state 1 to state 2, I send him a message. Hey, do this in the game. Hey, try that. Hey, did you hear about this new game event? And by doing that, I change your state. I send it to another state. And some states are better than others. Is there a better place that I can introduce this feature that is going to lead to a higher engagement? So in this, you can see there's a path. I need to reroute user to state 2 and state 3. And there, if I send him the same message, it's going to lead to higher engagement. Now, there's a risk. In state 2, the user can churn. You could churn from any state, actually. Now, how confident am I, the model, that I'm going to be able to avoid this state, and I'm going to make people go to state 3 in order to experience
keep
this
going.
feature? We should focus on taking people from state 1 and state 3. We should craft a message specific for that. So we can avoid the states 2.
But what are they, like, they need to tell us what they're talking about, though. Like, what specifically COD is doing.
And avoid the churn state.
This chart lays out a path
Like, I
that
get
the algorithm wants.
it's like our attention keeping our, us on the game, but I kind of don't see what's wrong with it.
A player to take, but it's extremely simplified. It sets up that there are different player states, and in some states, the churn risk, or the chances a player will quit playing the game, is higher than others. Additionally, some player states are better used to introduce some messaging or gameplay mechanics to a player than others. However, in order to achieve certain states and decide what is best to show the player, whether it's an advertisement, result, message, skin, or otherwise, the algorithm must first analyze what state you're in, and then find the best path to take in order to put you into the desired state.
So it's like if you were dying a lot. What's up? What's up? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Right now we're watching Cottage Rig and Fake, and apparently they got some proof. But I think so. Are they talking about how basically, if I were doing bad, in order for them to keep me on a game, they would put me in a lobby that's not as good? Is that what they're saying?
Which is obviously manipulation of the human psyche. What was also noticeable is that there were some states where doing certain things to a player will almost undoubtedly make them quit. State 2 here is a good example. The only possible outcome of showing a certain engagement message to a player is that player quitting and that message failing. But since this is the optimal path, what that is showing is that you have to reach state 2 in order to reach state 3 to best engage the player and have them most prepared for the message that will make them be more engaged and spend more money on the game. This sounds insanely similar to EOMM, or engagement optimized matchmaking, which is essentially matchmaking that is rigged in order to breed player engagement. If you have a player playing well, getting kills and winning games, they may be very engaged, but they're not in the exact state the algorithm wants. So if it tosses the player a few losses by stacking the odds against them, perhaps putting them with better players, worse ping, or whatever else may tilt the odds against them, it would put them in a state that is very volatile, but only to toss them a blowout win where they would play very well and have everything stacked in their favor to help them reach state 3, where they're most likely to give Activision money. This is literally just rigging matches to breed engagement.
Giving them money, though? Like, yes, stay on the game, but like buying operators and blueprints is a choice, if we're being completely honest.
Or at the very least,
but I do get where he's coming from.
To get you exactly where they want you. This also follows the exact philosophy that the students that created EOMM follow. Tossing different results in different orders breed higher engagement rates and different churn rates. I find it interesting that it follows the exact philosophy that the inventors of engagement-based matchmaking used. This essentially details a crazy part about machine learning, though. Their methods and algorithms are constantly updating and learning.
Yes, I mean, AI is probably on that shit.
The algorithm gets better at reading and predicting the path of player engagement, and as a result, becomes better at manipulating your engagement to put you exactly
That's
where
how you
it
actually
wants
teach
you.
AI.
This is what you've been waiting
You
for.
ask it the same questions like 1,000 times.
This last part is a terrifying example of how manipulative these algorithms are and how crazily powerful these things have undoubtedly become. Remember, this is technology that was active back in 2019. Just imagine how it is now in 2025, especially with how powerful AI has become. Once you understand the graph, you'll realize that this game truly is not a game anymore. It's a tool designed to squeeze money
It's
and
brain
dopamine out
rot.
of you. This chart had 3 player states to make the system look easy to understand, but their web of knowledge absolutely eclipses that number. Take a look at this.
This is the very center of the graph. We cannot fit all the hundreds of thousands of states here, but this is the really beginning. The lighter the color is, the more engaged the user is with Call of Duty. The size of the circles there is how many people are in that specific state. So you can see already some patterns that some states are connected to some other states, and this is really powerful now because I can give a heads up before somebody goes to like a critical churn state 1 week before. You can run simulations to see where people are going to be 1 week from now, 1 month from now.
My thing is though, everyone left Black Ops 6. Not everyone, but majority of people. So like that the fucking AI shit algorithm thing did not work though, because we all dipped.
And this is the
It did
rule
not
state.
keep
When
our
you start
retention.
Call of Duty,
Damn
that's
it,
where you
our
start.
attention.
Now, because it's really dark. Now, it's dark because you start a game, we don't know anything about you. So everything about you is 0. So that's why it's a dark color there. But you see all those possible
He gives
directions
Dexter
to go.
vibes,
There's
though.
all those possible futures for you to explore, and all those possible paths, and where they send you to. Here you can see it's clear that there's like a cluster with light circles on the bottom. You want to reroute users there. So that's the strategy that the graph is going to do.
Holy. This graph displays a small fraction of the hundreds of thousands of player states that they now know exist within the game. The brighter the dot, the more engaged the player in that state has become. So not only do they actually measure player engagement, they also measure the exact state that you're in to determine how volatile you are, in order to determine the best possible outcomes and messages to toss you in order to keep you playing the game. For example, if you're in a less engaged state or a darker color, the algorithm prefers that it directly guides you to a more engaged state. And if you're engaged, it prefers to keep you there. In the center, as this guy mentioned, there's a neutral dot because they have no data on you. You're essentially a 0. The most preferable thing that their algorithm can do is to make sure that you're redirected to the most engaged state possible, which only means one thing. New accounts and new players are guaranteed an extremely satisfactory and fun experience when they first boot up the game. After that, they're just fodder for the algorithm. The game purposely directs their engagement when they play for the first time in order to initially hook them. What I'm trying to tell you is that there are literally hundreds of thousands of measurable player states, and there are probably more being added every day. You are a cog in the system.
It's data. Yeah, I was just gonna say. And what does the AI do? Taking in the data. Okay, all in it. You get what I'm saying? Like, I get what he is saying, but kinda, I'm like,
point for them to study in order to rig the game more effectively. Each state is actively studied by machine learning models, and the solution is formed based on tons of data on how to best bring each player state to become as engaged as possible, regardless of the player type or the state that they're in. This graph is a representation of how the engagement-based matchmaking sees you. It measures the state that you're in, then pulls from the vast history of data they have on the millions of other players the game has in order to deduce what kind of an experience to talk.
But that is what they use data, like that is what data is for. You get what I'm saying?
In order to decrease the chances of you quitting and increase the chances of you playing more and buying microtransactions. And this isn't a theory. This is being used by Activision, and they publicly outed it in a presentation. They probably just hoped the players were too stupid to realize that this presentation literally means the game is absolutely rigged. And this was conveniently right before Modern Warfare 2019 came out, which makes sense. As soon as they started using machine learning and heavy data to measure player engagement, there's
And that's kind of in every fucking field. AI is making it soulless. It really is. We need the human touch. That's what always gives it the, you know?
Seems to be something off about the game. Heck, even the introduction of disbanding law.
Like, is it just me, or does zombies feel hella, like, empty, soulless? It might just be me, but it feels like the game is kind of already completed. It feels like, I don't know, it feels like Warzone to me.
lobbies is enough to raise suspicions, but lobbies started disbanding as soon as all of this data measuring player engagement and how to manipulate player states came out. It is no coincidence. Lobbies disband so that they can constantly toss you engaging matches that put you into the states that they want. If the lobbies stayed the same, there would be no way to manipulate your results. We have it from the horse's mouth that they directly measure engagement and tailor the game to most effectively manipulate player states in order to drive engagement. Them denying they measure engagement and then
Please let me know y'all's view on this. Please let me know, because it's kind of bothered me. Like, I'm like, bruh, yeah, humans got to fuck it up a little bit, if that makes it feel. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Hopefully, COD is learning from this. Hopefully, the developers are learning from this. And again, make COD great again. If COD completely... Do you guys think they'll make a turnaround, though? No way they don't. Because they just need one good COD and we're all hooked. One good COD and we're hooked. Even if it's a remaster, we are hooked. Admit it. Sadly, we will buy any COD that comes out just to try it. No, they. OVO.
redefining the word is also definitive proof that they're dodging this.
Like, what do you guys think about this whole them measuring data to make sure like people are stay engaged on the game? Because I think it didn't work since there's a whole decline, and I don't think it makes us buy shit. I think we have a choice to buy the operators. I thought having the operators is useless. Like, why don't we pay for DLCs? Why don't we pay for actual good maps? But they don't want to make us pay for that because it's not worth our fucking money. Having a new operator isn't going to change the way we play. And honestly, we should be able to build that fucking blueprint if we have all the fucking attachments unlocked. I get that, like, yeah.
Completely. What is awful about this is they're forgetting the most effective
Just
way
give us
to
DLCs and
engage players
camos
is
and we're
not to
fine.
manipulate them, but rather just make a good game.
Like, we literally just get updates now. What they do, search menu, is give you 10 absolute aid lobbies and then give us one good god lobby, and we keep playing. Yeah, I mean, that's basically what they're saying. And a lot of us quit playing or we keep playing. It's like, I don't think this is that big of a deal.
Black Ops 6 is genuinely the worst shooter
But I
ever
get it.
made, bar none. And despite this insanely sophisticated technology, they've bled over 60% of the player base. If the game sucks, which it doesn't matter what kind of fancy algorithms you're using.
And the thing is, I don't think the game sucks. I don't think Black Ops 6 sucks. I think if we had better maps and stuff like that, and just if zombies was zombies, we would be happy. If it just felt like the Black Ops series that we usually get, we would be happy. Like, they could do Zombie Chronicles too if they wanted to.
Quality game.
That's why they added gun game. Black Ops 6 doesn't suck. God. Whew.
And then manipulate us with their matchmaking. I mean, come on, that's the least they could do. But we get the worst shooter ever made. Plus,
I guess I believe this doesn't get us to buy stuff and stuff. You know, I don't really consider this cheating. Yeah. MW3 was not even an MW3 remaster. I'm gonna stand on that. That shit was not even close to a fucking remaster. Bro saying the worst shooter ever made.
plus the worst matchmaking ever, double whammy, and the perfect formula to scare away your player base. Your player state is being measured in real time, and the algorithm is actively learning every day how to best redirect and manipulate you into a more engaged state. EOMM has been
smarter
in the
and
game
smarter.
since at least 2019, and we have it straight from Activision's mouth that they measure player engagement and actively try to put you in certain states.
Yes, I agree. It should be the matchmaking that we already have right now. Not this one, but that's it. That's it. Boom, the Dark Ages is the closest thing to that.
Game is not a game. It's a manipulative casino meant to sell skins. Nothing about the game has integrity any longer. I'm Prime Pete. Stay safe out there.
Like, I'll agree with the end, but